The time I accidentally summoned a ghost while trying to play a prank on my roommate. Okay, so before I start, let me just say, I'm not the type to believe in ghosts or the supernatural, like at all. I'm all about science, logic, and, actual facts. But what happened to me and my roommate that one night? It's still something I can't explain, and trust me, I've tried. Let me set the stage. It was a regular Friday night in our college dorm. Me and my roommate Danny were just hanging out, playing video games, eating pizza, the usual. We're both pretty laid-back guys, but there's one thing we like to do: prank each other. Nothing too crazy, just some harmless fun. Fake spiders, whoopee cushions, that sort of thing. But this time I decided to step it up a notch. I was scrolling through Reddit, shout out to the r paranormal subreddit where I probably shouldn't have been, when I came across this post. It was about this old ritual where you could supposedly summon a ghost using just a few simple steps. The post sounded sketchy as hell, and honestly, I thought it was just a joke. But then I thought, hey, why not mess with Danny a little bit? I'll scare the crap out of him, and then we'll laugh about it later. I knew he was terrified of ghosts, and I figured if I did it in the middle of the night when he was half asleep, it would be the perfect prank. So I gathered the supplies: a candle, a mirror, a piece of paper, and a pen. That was all I needed according to the instructions. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dude, why did you even think this was a good idea? Trust me, I still ask myself that every day. But at the time, it sounded harmless, and I figured it was just a stupid little trick. I set everything up in the dark, lit the candle, and placed the mirror in front of me. I drew the symbols on the piece of paper like the post said, and then I whispered the words out loud. I summon thee. And then, nothing. Absolute silence. No spooky noises, no chills down my spine. Nothing at all. I was about to blow out the candle and call it quits, but just as I was about to do that, I heard a soft whisper from behind me. It was a woman's voice, and it sounded like it was coming from the far corner of the room. I froze. I turned around slowly, thinking it was Danny messing with me, but Danny was on his bed, still playing his game. There was no one else in the room, and the voice, it was faint, like it was trying to say something, but I couldn't make out the words. Now, at this point, I'm starting to think maybe I'm just tired, right? Like I've been up for a while, I'm probably hearing things, but then the air in the room started to feel colder, not just a little chilly, but cold enough that I could see my breath. I glanced at Danny, and he was still absorbed in his game, completely unaware of what was happening. But that's when things got real weird. The candle I had lit started flickering rapidly, like it was struggling to stay lit. It wasn't just the air from the fan or anything. The flame was literally moving, as if it was being blown by someone or something. And then, the mirror, the one I had set up across from me. It started fogging up, but here's the kicker. When the fog cleared, there was a message written on the mirror. Leave. That's it. Just the word leave. I was beyond freaked out at this point. I reached for my phone to turn on the flashlight, but before I could even unlock it, the lights in the room flickered, and then everything went completely dark. The power went out. I felt my heart racing. I couldn't see anything. Not even Danny, who was still sitting right next to me. I could hear him, though. His voice was low, shaky. He whispered, "Dude, what did you do?" I tried to calm him down, but he was freaking out just as much as I was. The air felt heavy, like something was pressing down on us. Then, in the distance, I heard footsteps. Slow, deliberate footsteps, like someone was walking in our room. But when I looked around, there was no one there. And then, the whisper came again. Leave. At this point, I didn't care if it was a prank or not. I grabbed Danny, we bolted out of the room and ran down the hall. We ended up in the common area, shaking and confused. We waited there for what felt like hours before we decided to go back. When we did, the room was back to normal. The lights were on, the mirror was clean, and the candle had burned out. It was as if nothing had ever happened. We never spoke about it again. Danny still thinks it was me pulling off some elaborate prank, and honestly, I wish that was the case. But after that night, I'm not so sure. To this day, I can't explain what happened. Was it just a crazy coincidence? Or did I really summon something? I still don't know. But I do know this. I'm never messing with that kind of stuff again.